Hey guys, good evening. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to Inspirations for Your Life. I am so glad that you decided to join me tonight. We have an amazing show for you tonight, as I'm sure you guys know. But our master topic for the week is promises kept, the power of staying true to your word when sometimes it's not so easy to do so. We're on Series 3, Show 49. And we'll get to the exact granular episode in just a moment. But do take a moment to get yourself something hot and delicious. I have another hot chocolate here. And today I actually put some cinnamon in it, which is actually pretty good. All right, so let's get into what the granular topic is. All right. So the granular topic for tonight, Friday, closing this out, is true to you, leading with integrity and impact. We are on Series 3, Show 49, episode number 7, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, lots of great stuff happened here. Lots of great stuff. All right, so welcome everyone to Inspirations for Your Life podcast, where I'll explore the keys to unlocking your full leadership potential and living a life of purpose. I'm John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. I'm not only a podcast host, but also a podcast coach. And I'm dedicated to helping you lead with integrity, building lasting relationships, and creating a positive ripple effect in both your personal and your professional lives. Do check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. So whether you're looking to overcome challenges, empower others, or stay true to yourself in the face of adversity, this show will provide the tools and insights you need to make a meaningful impact. Each episode will guide you through practical steps and powerful strategies for becoming the best version of yourself, while inspiring others to do the same. Let's kick it off, everyone. So the first one is leading by example. Discovering how your actions speak louder than words and how you can be a role model who inspires others to follow your lead. I think that's important. Many people, think they can just be a role model, but then they don't necessarily know what being a role model is. And I think that confuses a lot of people. Number 2, consistency builds trust. It certainly does. Learn how consistency in your words and actions help build trust with those around you, making you a dependable and respected leader. You don't get to become a top leader overnight. You have to slowly evolve, as I like to say. All right, number 3, ladies and gentlemen, staying true to yourself. Explore the importance of staying grounded in your core values and resisting the pressure to conform, leading to authentic and fulfilling leadership. Empowering others. Understand how empowering those around you creates a culture of growth, inspiration, and mutual support. I think many people get stuck in this ego trip, and they don't realize the benefit of what it means for those to be, let's say, helped. And so it's not hard to do, ladies and gentlemen, but when you help others, it makes a big difference to who you are in your mind and in the actions that you carry out. And other people are going to want to be part of that. So I'm sure you definitely know that. All right, guys. So let's move on to the next point, and that is the ripple effect. So seeing how small actions can create waves of positive change that impact not just your immediate circle, but extend far beyond that. And I think it's that one thing we do. We might not put a lot of emphasis on it, but it's that one thing we do that maybe captivates somebody else or catches their attention. They're like, hey, you know what? I want to know what he's doing. I want to know what she's doing. I'm interested in this. And you don't do it to captivate them. You do it because that's who you are. But it's the concept that they get to be part of something. And that's really neat. I think someone maybe doesn't quite understand. And what I mean by not understanding is they just have no clue. So you have to embrace why you do stuff, right? And I think if you do things for the right reasons, it's gonna trickle down. Okay? But you can't do it for that reason up front. You have to do it for the right reason. Okay. And so the right reason is that you want to empower yourself, right? You want to empower yourself. If you can empower yourself, then that will make a huge difference. Okay. That will make a huge, huge difference. If people did things because they were always looking for something, then that might be a big problem, right? It might, but then again, it may not. And so when we think about these things, it sometimes will cause us to, I'm going to say, wake up, right? And by waking up, I mean that there is so much potential in your life. Okay. So much potential. And so if we think about where we could be, okay, and we think about where we are now, and we think about what we're doing in our life and how that keeps us on track, it also can help other people stay on track, but also can help get them derailed to be on the right track. Overcoming challenges. Now, as I said to you before, challenges are going to hit you. It's not a question of whether you're going to get a challenge or a bad card, but it's how you choose to interact and deal with that challenge that shapes your character, and it affects whether other people are going to want to be around you or whether they're going to want to stay clear of you. So, being true to yourself. You do it because you love yourself, you care about yourself. You're not doing it because you want to get in good graces with someone. That's not why you're true to yourself. You should be true to yourself because of all the great feelings it gives you. It gives you a natural high, doesn't it? It gives you a natural high. And that natural high is pretty amazing. And when I say amazing, I mean like really, really, really amazing. So amazing that it can change where you go. Okay. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that it's important that you realize this. Okay. It's very important. And I think the more that you look for answers within you, instead of answers that are outside you, the more that you're going to not only empower yourself, but you're going to empower others. I think people sometimes get they get frustrated, they get disappointed, they get in this rut that they don't know what to do or how to do something. And so when we work to figure out what's best for us, it actually empowers other people. And when people see our example, right? When people see our example, they want to be part of things. They want to be part of things. And these things will change the way people act in life. Okay? And if you understand that it's about something more than an ego, it's more than trying to be in the limelight. It's about a lot more than that. And if you can just, let's say, ponder that for a moment. By the way, this hot chocolate's delicious. It's milk chocolate tonight, and I put some cinnamon in, which is a really good combination. People oftentimes look to cut to the end. and they cut to the end because they think that taking a shortcut is going to get them to all the riches, all the fame, all the success. But in the truth of reality, it's not. So there are people in life that are, for lack of a better term, phonies. They don't want to help you. They're only about helping themselves. That's all they're about, is helping themselves. So do you really want to be part of a group like that, or a community, or an association? The answer is no. They always have their hand out waiting for you to help them. But when you need help, guess what? They're nowhere to be found. But that's not a time for you to get angry, upset. It's a time for you to get smart and say, you know what? I need to embrace the fact that they're using me, and figure out where you can plant your resources better. Okay. We talked about some important things here tonight. We talked about a whole lot this week. And just to go over a quick synopsis of the week, because like I said, we covered an awful lot of things. Okay. First thing that we covered, the very first episode, which was last Saturday, if you guys remember, we talked about how fulfilling promises can transform your life on the world that you're in and those around you. We talked about promises kept, the power of staying true to your word, building trust, very important, reflecting integrity, strengthening relationships, promoting self-confidence, reinforcing your reputation, preventing disappointment, and setting an example. I love setting example because if you do this right, other people are going to want to stay true, not to impress you, but because they're impressed by how it's transforming your life. If you're doing things in life to get a rise or to get an applause, like, don't do that. You might get an applause, but that's not why you should be true to yourself. That's not why you should be doing all these great things that I talked about, such as building trust, reflecting integrity, strengthening relationships, promoting self-confidence, reinforcing reputation, preventing disappointment, okay, and setting an example. I love the last one, which is where we're ending tonight, and that's setting an example. Setting an example and leading by an example is important, because we've learned that our actions speak louder than any words. You become a role model, not by your choice, but when other people invite you in. Other people invite you to be a leader. You could petition to become one, but you have to become a leader. I'm going to give you a perfect example that we're going to end on tonight. And that is, how does a lawyer become a judge? So there's a lot in there, right? So you have to start with step one, obtaining a bachelor's degree. You have to write the LSAT. You have to go to law school. You have to take the bar exam. You have to gain experience, and you have to obtain a judgeship. So what is a judgeship? A judgeship is something very unique. What is a judgeship, and how does a lawyer get one? You probably want to know. So basically, the status is going from bar to bench, right? The bar to the bench. And that's a very, very big step. Few people will ever begin their careers as judges. This means that it can be challenging. It could be a great transition from bar to bench, but it's not easy. For many trial lawyers contemplating a career change that will enable them to remain connected to the courtroom, pursuing a judgeship is a logical move. The thing you have to do is you have to build a profile and you have to network depending on the state, lawyers, and uh, they earn judgeships either through election or appointment. Either way, you'll need a strong public profile and a robust network of supporters to succeed. Running for election as a judge typically requires registering for a political party, raising money, and running a campaign. Maintaining a profile in the community and among peers. And yes, in advance of when you want to become a judge, it will boost your chance of success. Candidates for elected judgeships should be mindful of the Code of Judicial Conduct. For appointed judgeships, it's also critical to have a positive community profile and supportive network, as state legislators or other government officials who select judges typically seek recommendations from a judicial selection panel. So there is a process, right? And so you then have people that will be calling people to see, are you ethical at practicing law? How do you make decisions? So then you have to wind down your practice. Once you secured a judgeship, shutting down your law practice can often be one of the most difficult parts of transition, especially if you're a solo practitioner. A lawyer must find a way to wrap up pending cases before the judgeship begins, while at the same time generating income and covering expenses without taking on new work that extends beyond the start of their new career on the bench. Having to pass cases to other lawyers also means passing up much needed income. So it's critical that in addition to coordinating the logistics of transitioning matters, you'll also engage in sound advanced financial planning. Notifying clients, closing out and storing files and retaining records is time consuming. So is shutting down and moving out of physical office space. Newly judges are well served to put in the extra hours at the beginning of the transition process to get on the top of these tasks so that they are not rushing to complete them at the end. The thing about it is that, you can't tell your clients that you are going to be becoming a judge, because if you do, well, then they're going to leave, right? But then what happens if you don't get the judgeship? So when you're in this process and, you're keeping everything hush hush because no one's supposed to know about it, but eventually there's a time, usually a year later, when different people find out, the prosecutor's office staff finds out, and before you know it, people are now courting you because you're suddenly going to be a judge. And they send you tickets and say, hey, would you like to come to our event? And of course, you're courting to try to become a judge. And so what's $1,500 so you can get into being a judge? But being a judge, there's a lot in there, right? And so what is a judgeship? So you have to be appointed or elected. Local judges often run in elections to be appointed, while federal judges are chosen by people in power. The President of the United States and the members of their House nominate judges to the Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, and the District Court before they are confirmed by the Senate or Congress. So what does a judge do? Well, judges are often associated with serving sentences and striking their gavels. The roles are much more complicated than this, but there are some main tasks. They preside over the court proceedings to ensure order is always maintained. They determine if evidence used by either party is illegal or improper. They give the jury instructions on laws and standards involved in the case. And they determine the facts of the case to determine guilt if a jury is not present, determining the sentence for defendants and sharing it with the courtroom. So the reason I share this with you is that you don't get to become a judge overnight. People have to deem you worthy to elect you. And there's multiple interviews you'll go through before you'll finally know if you're going to get that judgeship. And then also planning to wrap up your business, because once you get that judgeship, even if you're not on the bench yet, you have to stop practicing law. That's hard for a lot of people. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we had an amazing week, but I can't stress to you enough about how invaluable it is to stay true to yourself, because you can never be true to others if you can't be true and honest with yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always such a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys on these amazing days and evenings. Please go to BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, which is December 7th, with a brand new master topic for a brand new week. If you missed any of this, do go to believemeachieve.com. You can check out the past shows. You can watch Jay Moore Tech Talk. You can see my short form content, long form content, my static posts, and so much more. So definitely check out believemeachieve.com. And I'll catch you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.